This conference will now be recorded.
So now, so you have taken up with the course financial modeling. So guys, I want your response in order to for me to be active. So if you are not responding, I will be losing the interest in teaching. So whatever you know, either it is right, wrong, or anything, please do share. Okay. So whatever the views are there from your end, please do share it. Okay. So if there is any problem with your network or any other issues, please put it in the comment box. Okay. Chat box you can put. So if you feel that somewhere I'm going fast or you wanted me to repeat it again, please do tell. Okay. So now, before we start up, so do you have any idea about what is financial modeling is? Is my screen visible to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, very good. Okay, so tell me, what is financial modeling is? So whatever you know, you tell it.
Ma'am, it is a representation in like numbers of a company's profit and loss, maybe.
Yeah. What about others?
In
Basically, a
financial,
representation of the company's expenses, and it can be used to analyze how we can work about things in the future.
Very good. Anyone else? Okay. So what is financial modeling is? So financial modeling is a process of estimating the financial performance of a project or a business. Okay. So by taking into account all relevant factors like growth, risk assumptions, and interpreting their impact, it enables the user to acquire a concise knowledge of all the variables involved in the financial forecasting. So financial modeling is used when I wanted to acquire any business or I wanted to start up with any business or something. So based on the historical information of any particular business or something, I will be calculating the future calculation. Like for example, if I wanted to start up with a business, so you guys might be having an idea of starting up with the business. So any like examples, like any of you people wanted to start up with any business, any ideas? So everybody wants to go and work. Nobody has the intention to start up your own business. Okay. So now I wanted to start up with a business. Like example, I'm too interested in restaurants. So if I wanted to start up with a restaurant, so give me some idea how I can plan accordingly to start a business. What are the things that will be required?
Investments,
Investment, very good. So that is the capital what I'm going to start up the business with. Then,
Human resource.
yes, very good. Anyone else?
land also.
Yes, very good. So that is probably I can tell the location where I wanted to put up my business with. Okay, now I have an interest in restaurant, but without any idea, can I start up with a business? Like, what are the things, the basic requirements it is there? Has one of the student told that the capital investment. So, what is the capital that will be required to set up a restaurant, restaurant? or where should I start it up. So I should be having some idea about it. So when I need to have some idea about it, first thing is I will see the historical information of other restaurants. Like if I wanted to buy an ongoing restaurant, or if I wanted to start up a new restaurant in a new place where there is no restaurant, or something where I wanted to start it up, anything, I need to have some idea about that particular business. So what I will do is I'll see the historical information of other restaurants which are running. So where I can locate it, so which location will be appropriate to start up with the restaurant, what is the investment I need, so what are the items that I'm going to supply, and how the things are going to be prepared, like the manpower or any other things. So I need to have some information about it. So this things and all, it is going to make me calculate, if I start up with a restaurant in so and so place, with so and so capital investment, with so and so manpower, so I can make a profit. After, like initially there will be losses, so after that losses, how I'm going to make a profit. So with proper information, gathering the information and applying it in the necessary places, then only I'll be able to make up a profit, handsome profit. So if I start up a restaurant in a residential area, do you think my business will run? No,
No.
definitely it is not going to run. So if it should be like a commercialized places where the business are running or something like that, where definitely the restaurants are going to get click near the colleges, or as I told, commercial oriented places near the shopping malls or somewhere. So these are the places which is apt for the restaurant business. Likewise, financial modeling is going to give me the uh, estimation, okay, to start up with the business. Now next is data is the new oil. So now if I wanted to start up with a business which is already ongoing, I wanted to buy that particular business or something. So then data is the information that I required. Okay. So based on that historical information about that particular business, so simply I will not go and buy any business. Okay. So if I'm going to own that particular business or an industry or a company, whatever it is, so if I am buying it, I need to think that whether if I buy this in the future, I'm going to make a handsome profit or not. Nobody is going to buy the business which is already going in loss. So how am I going to do it, miss? Based on the historical information, like I'll take the previously, like past 5 years information, I'll take about that business, I will see how the growth is. So based on that information, I can predict, okay, so this is the growth what it has been seen in this 5 years. So presently the business is going on like this. If I buy, if I own that business and make the necessary changes wherever it is required, so this is going to give me a handsome profit in the upcoming years. Okay. So now there are some situations I wanted you people to give me some answers. So here the first situation is, hi, I am Mehul. I want to start a franchisee of Tata Motors. Shall I invest rupees 10 crore into it? So a person is asking you the suggestion to start a franchisee with Tata Motors. So can he invest it? Or if I have to make the investment in that particular business, means what are the precautions that I have to take? So if you are that person who is going to buy a franchisee, so what are the things that you are going to concentrate on? Why no answers? Just consider yourself as the person who is going to buy a franchisee. So what are the things that you will see? So blindly, though, we are not going to make any investment. That to 10 crore of investment, we are not going to do it. So in case if I wanted to start up with the franchisee also, first I will see what is the past, how the company has grown in this past 5 years. So are they making the handsome amount of profit? So if I invest 10 crore in this, how am I going to make the profit? So all those things you are going to keep in mind. So the next situation is, We want to bid for National Highway Pune Mumbai project. Is it feasible to bid for rupees 1000 crores investment if I am doing it? So it is a tender which is called by a government, by the government, okay, where they have to construct the national highway. So where there is an investment of 1000 crore rupees. So if I have to make a bid, so generally how the tenders are called, you people are aware of it? When it is a government sector or public or private sector or anything.
No, ma'am.
So when I have to call the tender, so when I have to bid, when it is that I have to take up with the tender means they will choose only the person who is going to quote for the lowest amount. Okay, so the lowest amount is going to be selected. So if I am bidding for the lowest amount, so amongst everyone, whoever is charging, so in this particular amount, I'm going to construct the highway for you and I'll give. So they will see for their profit only. So now when I am calling the tender, then when I'm casting this one the amount for lowest price, then I have to see whether I'll be able to work out in that particular amount. Will I be able to give the quality assurance to the government, to any sector, or if I will be able to satisfy with the quantity and the quality aspects, and after all those things will I be able to make the profit. So with that particular amount, how am I going to work out with this entire project? So in order to make that work out, you should have the proper knowledge about how the bidding is happening, where the items are at the cheap rate where I can buy. So how the manpower is going to be acquired, how I'm going to work out on it by satisfying within that amount, and at the same time I should make a handsome profit. Okay, so this is one situation. Next one of my client wants to invest in capital market. Can I buy a share of Reliance at rupees 600? So you people must be aware of share markets. So here Ritika is asking that she wanted to invest the shares of Reliance company at rupees 600. So if you have to invest in the share capital, share markets, so how you are going to do it? Simply blindly, or you going to invest some amount there?
Should see the previous profits of the company.
Yes, very good. So we will see the previous profit of the company, where I'll get to know presently how it is running, and in the future what is the amount of profit that I can make based on the duration of time. It depends. So some companies will give the results immediately, some companies it will take some time. So based on the previous information, I'm going to buy the shares. So there also what I'm going to see, the historical information of that particular company. Then, how much amount shall we pay to acquire DLF Infra? So, DLF is one of the leading construction company in the country. So now it is acquiring. So merging and acquisition, you people must be aware. So now I wanted to acquire DLF Infra. So if I have to acquire the DLF Infra means which is already ongoing company. So if I have to merge or acquire that, so uh, here also I am going to check for some historical information about that company, isn't it? So I think you must be much more informative about this merger and acquisitions. So if you can give me some example about it, any such companies you have heard where the
Ma'am,
merging.
Akash and Byju's.
Yes, very good. So how that has been merged, if you can explain. Now currently there are many companies which are acquiring and merging with the other companies. Okay, so there are many different types of examples we come across where there are many companies which are merging with the other company based on to increase their power, or something like that we can tell. So next, so based on this different situations, so we will get to know where can I invest the money, or if I am bidding, so in the limited amount, how I am going to make a handsome profit. If I have to invest in the marketing share market, so how am I going to make a proper investment and acquisition, so to come with from which company to which company I can acquire. So if I am acquiring, how am I going to work out on it and make the profit. So it is all about future calculations, like if I have to make an investment or bid or stock or acquisition anything, so this is about the future calculations. So if I start up with this business, if I make an investment, so if I go for the tender quoting, so if I acquire any business, how am I going to make the profit out of this. So this is all based on the future calculation, where we will be using the financial modeling. Okay, so let's come to the next point. So financial modeling is either building a model from scratch or maintaining the existing model by implementing newly available data to it. So financial modeling can be either constructed from built from the scratch from the beginning without any having any historical information. I'm going to start up with it, or I might be having some historical information about a business or a project where I'm going to build an financial modeling on it. As you can notice, all the above financial situations are of a complex and volatile nature. Maybe everything is of different from each other, but still everything leads to one point where I am calculating about my future. It helps the user to gain an in-depth understanding of all the components of the complex scenario. Excuse me. So as I'm
Ma'am,
building, yes, ma.
ma'am, should we note this down, whatever is on the slide?
Yes, ma, it will be preferably good if you are noting down the points.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. So it helps the user to gain an in-depth understanding of all the components of the complex scenario. So when I am building a financial modeling based on the historical information, I am going to get an in-depth understanding about that particular business. What is that business? How it was running? How it was making the profit? How the growth was? So based on this, all those information, I'll be able to analyze if I'm going to start up with a business or I'm going to acquire a business. Either I'm going to make it a profit or what. It is used to forecast the potential future financial performance of a company by making relevant assumptions of how the firm or a specific project is expected to perform in the forthcoming years. So it is all about whatever the information I have. So based on that information, I'm going to predict whether this business is going to make a profit or not. Okay, so how it will be done, so we will be doing it using the financial modeling. For instance, how much cash flow a project is likely to produce within 5 years from it inti- initiation. So from the starting of the business, how much the cash flow has been happened till date. So I wanted to do that one, where the financial modeling will be very much helpful. So if anybody is making the note, if it is done, shall I move to the next slide? Guys, if I am
Yes, ma'am.
fast, or if you did not got any point, please don't hesitate to ask or to tell. Okay? So uses of financial modeling. What is financial modeling? So representation of an entity's financial statements and accounts. So till now we were discussing that historical information of the business, historical information. So what is this historical information means? It is the financial statements and accounts of that particular business, which is going to tell me how the business is going to make up in the upcoming future. So to gain useful insight, so when I look at the historical information, I'll get a useful insight about that particular business, how it is, what it is, can I make the profit, all those things. So this is mainly used for the focus on the future results. So when I'm talking about the financial statements and accounts, so it includes in income statement, balance sheet, cash flow statement, and other inputs and assumptions and physical measures. So this all are the formats which are used in order to calculate the companies. Okay, historical information. So provide useful analysis for decision maker. So financial model is a decision support tool. So financial modeling is one such tool which is going to help me to calculate the future of that particular business. Okay, so any doubt guys till here?
No.
Everybody is able to follow, right?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay, so uses of financial model to value a business activities. So if I am going to acquire any business or something, I'm going to see the business activities, how the business is running. Helpful in planning situations. So any type of different situations or scenarios I'm going to face, I can plan it accordingly in the beforehand. Can answer the following. So I'll be in a position to answer this particular questions. Return on money invested in the project, when the project will reach the cash positive. So I will be able to tell. So if I have done with the financial modeling, I'll be able to tell that when my cash will be reaching to the positive point. So break even points, if return is 0%, then what could cost for the business activities, how long project can survey without further investment. So till what time the project can survive without any further investments to be done. Helps to examine the financial and physical scenarios like productivity, performance measurement, expansions, and new capacity building up. So these are the some of the uses of this particular model. How to prepare financial model, guys? If anybody is making a note, please tell, I will wait. So if anybody is making a note of this previous slides, so as there are students who are from BSc and BA, so it would be a recommended thing if you are making a note of these things and all. So you need not have to write the entire information. The important ones you can make a note. How many of you are there from non-accounting streams? Guys, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So I just wanted to know how many of you are there from non-accounting stream, like from BSc and BA.
I am Jyoti Kumari and I am from B Walk and it is also a non-accounting stream.
Okay,
Me also. We.
okay. So two people. Anyone else? Okay, I'll move to the next slide. You can make a note of the important things from here.
Ma'am,
Yes, ma'am.
ma'am, will you be sending us this PPT
Not immediately, ma. Not
Yes, ma'am. Before
immediately.
like exam,
Yeah.
before the
But
exam.
still,
Okay.
the important points, whatever I'm teaching, I wanted you people to
Yes, ma'am.
make a
Yes.
note of it. So today it will be just an introduction class. Okay, so we'll be discussing about what is financial modeling types and all. So once we start with the practicals, I'll be sharing the notes on which we are going to work out in the beforehand. Before the class commences in the morning only, I'll share the this one practical notes, so which you can work along with me. I'll be giving you the sufficient time, so I'll show how the case studies will be done. So after that, I'll give you sufficient time to solve it. Okay. So here everybody is having the Excel knowledge, MS Excel.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
because we'll be having an Excel refresher, because financial modeling will be solved using the MS Excel only. So some 2 classes will go on in MS Excel, where we will see, because there might be people who are not aware of Excel. So we'll go through a few of this different types of things, tools that are used in MS Excel, and then we'll be going with the financial statements, and then we'll be solving 5 case studies. Okay, but everything will be based on Excel only. So for that, we need to have proper knowledge. So we will do some exercises on MS Excel, and then we will proceed further. Okay, I'll move to the next slide. So how to prepare financial model for any company? So till now we were discussing about the historical information that are financial statement and accounts of any company. So what are that historical informations? Like when I'm talking about historical information, it includes balance sheet, income statements, cash flows, and debt service. So this all those things we are going to work out on. Then we will be going with the other things. So based on this historical information, I am going to analyze the relationship among, make the assumptions. Okay, to analyze the relationship and make the assumptions. Like what are the assumptions that I am going to do means, it is growth rates, operating margins, new business, and refinancing. So these are the things that I am going to analyze based on the historical informations. So in this, any of the point if you are not getting, please do tell. So now after analyzing and making the assumptions, I'll be able to make the project sales, cost and others based on revenues, cost of goods sold, operating margins and debt services. And then I'll be able to develop and complete the financials and analysis. So where I'll be able to tell, where I'll be able to calculate the balance sheet for the upcoming years, where I'll be able to prepare the income statement, cash flows for monthly and weekly if needed, industries and ratio analysis. So like this, I'm going to prepare the financial modeling of any company. So I wanted you people to make a note of it. Okay, next we'll move to the next slide. So the different types of financial modeling. So what are the types of financial modeling if we see look at that? So there are three statement model, discounted cash flow, which is also called a DCF model, merger model, which is mergers and acquisitions, initial public offering, IPO model, leveraged buyout, LBO model, consolidation model, budget model, forecasting model, option pricing. So these are different types of model. So based on some of these types of modelings, we are going to solve the case studies. Okay. So one by one, we'll see what are those things. Three statement model. So three statement model means in this, I'll be using the integrated financial statements. So which is used to forecast or project the financial position of a company as a whole. So based on that financial statements, whatever I have, so I'll be calculating it. It contains three types of financial statements, which includes balance sheet, income statement, and cash flow statement. So next, discounted cash flow model. A DCF model is a specific type of financial model used to value a business. So DCF model is a forecast of a company's unlevered free cash flow discounted back to days values, which is called as net present value or NPV. Okay, so based on this information, we are going to create the financial model, that is NPV, net present value of a particular business. Next one is merger model. A merger model is an information intensive tool. It is based on several assumptions and tailored to incorporate the specific characteristics of the subject that the companies need to provide to as realistic results as possible. A merger model can be considered as a feasibility study that is carried out beforehand to ensure the success of amalgamations. So merger and acquisition. So if I have to merge my business or acquire any business, what are the basic things that we are going to keep in consideration in order to buy that? The next one is initial public offering, that is IPO model. An initial public offering is a process by which privately owned enterprises is transformed into a public company whose shares are traded on stock exchange. So stock exchange, share markets where I'll be using it for the public offerings. This process is sometimes referred to as going public. After a private company becomes a public limited company, it is owned by the shareholders who purchase its stock. So here, public limited and private limited, you must be aware of this differences between a public limited and a private limited company. So private limited company means it is owned by the board of directors. Okay, so whatever the profit the business is going to make, it will be shared only amongst those directors. Okay, and when I'm talking about a public limited company means amount of shares which is being sold to the public, where the amount of profit that is going to be made, it is going to be shared amongst the public also. Okay, so that is public limited company. So leveraged buyout model, a leveraged buyout is a, sorry guys, anybody might be making a note of this. So next one, leveraged buyout model, LBO. The leveraged buyout model is a transaction where a company time the recording was not done. So leverage buyout is a transaction where a company is acquired using the debt. So the debt means, so when I am taking the loans from the other people, so if the transaction typically occur when a private equity firm borrows as much as they can from the variety of lenders, like up to 70 to 80% of their purchase price they have borrowed the money, and in return they will pay it back with their own equity, then we will be calculating based on the leveraged buyout model. Consolidation model, the consolidation model belongs to reporting model category of financial models. It includes several business units added into one single model for financial modeling and further analysis. So this means I'll be using several different types of business units which will be merged together and make it into one. Typically, each business unit is its own tab, which consolidates tab that simply sums up the other business units. It is similar to sum of the parts exercise where division A and division B are added together and a new consolidated worksheet is created. This means the consolidation model. Then budget model. The budget model
Excuse me, ma'am, you're on mute.
Guys, am I audible now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, just have a look of this types of financial modeling in this things. Anything you are having that doubt, please do tell.
Ma'am, can you explain option pricing, ma'am? You are not audible.
Option pricing. Okay. So option pricing model means, as the name suggests, this model is a part of pricing model category of financial model. Based on the pricing, I'll be doing this option pricing. Binomial tree and Black-Scholes are the two main option pricing financial models and are based purely on the mathematical financial modeling rather than specific standards. Like instead of historical informations, I'll be calculating if I wanted to start up with a new business, how that business is going to be running up, how the investments has to be done. So what are the investment, what are the precautions that I have to take, the proper planning of that business. So all those things will be done without any historical information. Then it is called as option pricing model. Okay. So here we are going to be doing it based on the mathematical financial modeling rather than specific standards, and therefore are an upfront calculator to build into Excel. So using the Excel, I'm going to make the calculations and then going to calculate whether when I start up with a new business, how it is going to work out with.
Thank you, ma'am.
So anybody is having any other doubts in this types of financial modeling, please do tell. So now the project based course. So here, as I told, we'll be solving five different types of case studies. So here you will be getting trained with FMCG industries, that is moving consumer goods, on the automobile industry, manufacturing sector, IT sector, and telecom sector. So there will be five different case studies which will be based on this particular concepts. Let's start up with Excel. So I'll just give the introduction to Excel and then we'll be starting up with the practicals from tomorrow onwards. So how many of you are aware of MS Office software? So if anybody can tell me what is MS Office software is, where it is used. So Office software was developed by Microsoft company in the year 1990. Okay, at that time the CEO of Microsoft company was Bill Gates. So it MS Office is typically designed to satisfy all the office or business oriented tasks. Like we have different types of applications in MS Office, where we have the document word processing software, we have the spreadsheet software, presentation software, and database software. So in that, if we see spreadsheet software, which is done using MS Excel. So a Microsoft Excel is a powerful data visualization and analyze software which uses spreadsheet to store, organize, and track data sets with formulas and functions. So what is this MS Excel is all about, miss? It is a spreadsheet software where the work area of Excel is in the form of tabulation, okay, which is basically used to visualize your data and analyze the data, okay, by using the set of formulas and functions. Excel is used by marketers, accountants, data analysts, and other professionals. It's a part of Microsoft Office suite of products. So let's see. So MS Excel is a software program produced by Microsoft that allows the user to organize, format, and calculate the data using the formulas and functions, where we'll be using the spreadsheet system. So when I'm talking about MS Excel, it is one of the best spreadsheet applications available for processing several enhanced spreadsheet features. Wherein, when I'm talking about the calculations in Excel can be performed using the functions and the formulas, where functions means system defined or predefined, means which are inbuilt. Okay, so the functions are inbuilt and the formulas are user defined, which can be manipulated according to the user. So if I am very well versed with Excel, so I'll be able to manipulate with that functions by adding multiple functions together, or I can experiment with one function with the other functions. Like that I can manipulate it. So spreadsheet helps us simplify and analyze complex data, where we can organize the data into graphs and charts. So if I wanted to get the output not only in the form of values, I wanted it to be displayed in the form of graphs and charts, very easily we can do it. And we can do the sorting and filtering also on the huge data range, where I'll be able to generate the reports based on student, employees, product, and then analyze that report and interpret that report as well. So when I'm talking about data types in Excel, so we have four main types of data in Excel. First one is text, that is nothing but the alphabets, and next one is numbers, which are numericals, and then we have logical. Data in this type are either true or false, which are called as booleans, usually has the product of a test or comparison. So whenever I am applying with any such type of functions or anything, I'm going to get the results, the output in the form of true or false. This means you can use a function to determine whether the data in your spreadsheet meet the different parameters, uh, different measures. So if it is meeting the differences, I'll be getting the output as true. And if the measures are not meeting, then I'll be getting the output as false. And then we have another one type of data, that is error. Knowing the different error values can help you understand how to resolve different mistakes and add the appropriate information. So if I am able to make out what type of mistake I have done by understanding that error, so I'll be able to correct my mistake and rectify that. So let's look at the interface of Excel. So if I wanted to start with Excel, I can go from start and type in Excel. I'll get Excel from here also, or I can just right click, go to new, and from here also I can start up with Excel, or I can type in Windows R and type in Excel and click on OK. I can start up with Excel. Okay, so I am taking up with the blank workbook. So let's understand the work area, that is the screen components of Excel. So here we have the Excel open. So here, okay, one second. So at the leftmost corner, topmost corner, you can see you will be having the quick access toolbar. Quick access toolbar means, so here we have different types of tools. Amongst this tool, any one particular tool very frequently I am using, then I'll be setting up that particular tool in the quick access toolbar. So the name itself tells to easily and quickly access the tool that is required. So for example, in order to add any of the tool, so I'll click on this drop down, I'll go to more commands, and from here I can choose the different type of command, or if I wanted to go according to the tabs, I can go from here also. Here you can see I have home, insert, draw, page layout, formulas, data, review, view, developer, add-ins, help, all those things are there. So if I wanted to go from there, I can go, or from the popular commands I can do. So I will select, I here you can see I have save, undo, redo. So save, undo, redo. I will be using too much of email things, so I'll select email, I'll click on add. And then if I am using tables, so I wanted to create the tables very frequently, I'll select this, and here I'll click on OK. So I have added two more tools like this. So if I wanted to remove any of the tool, I'll click on this drop down, I'll go to more commands and just remove whichever I don't want. I don't want this redo, I don't want this insert table. So I have only save, undo, and email. I'll click on OK. So now you can see only three things are there. Okay, so this is about your quick access toolbar. Then we have the title bar. So by default, Excel files are called as workbook. Okay, so here by default it will show as book 1. So once I save my file with the file name, I'll give a file name and save. So whatever the name I have given to that workbook will be displayed here. Until unless I save, it will be displaying the default workbook name. And then we have the close, restore, and minimize and hide option. Hide of your display options. Okay, so this is to hide your ribbons. So when I click on this, so auto hide ribbon, your entire ribbon will get hidden. I wanted to get back my tabs and ribbon, so I'll go for show tabs and ribbon. Then we have the different types of tabs, that is file, home, insert, page layout, formulas, data, review, view. So these are the different types of tabs that are there, and each and every tab will have the ribbon. File, it will be having the menu, file menu, and here home. And when you look at the ribbons of this all those tabs, each and every tab has different ribbon. When I come to insert, page layout, formulas, data, review, view, help. So like this we have different types of ribbons. Okay, and this is the ribbon, and ribbon consists of three things in it. So the groups, first thing is group, like home tab consists of clipboard, font, alignment, number, styles, cells, editing. So these are the different groups, and each group will have the tools or commands. In Excel it is also called as commands. Okay, and then we have the dialog launcher. What is this dialog launcher means? Here you can see this font group consists of different types of tools or commands, like font style. I have font size if I wanted to make bold, italic, underline, and if I wanted borders, and the cell colors I wanted, text colors I wanted. So I have different types of commands information about your particular group. So here also we have the font style. So what type you wanted, make it bold, italic, size you wanted to change, underline you wanted to change with the color. So the things elaborated form of your group will be displayed in the dialog launcher. Okay, and it is not mandatory that all the groups will be having the dialog launcher. So in the home you can see clipboard, font, alignment, number is having the dialog launcher. When I come to insert, only charts is having the dialog launcher. When I come to page layout, only page setup, scale to fit, sheets are having the dialog launcher. When I come to formulas, nowhere dialog launchers are there. Data tab, nowhere dialog launchers are there. Only to the required particular groups we will be having the dialog launcher. And then this is called as your name box. Name box means it will show where is your active cell is. So active cell is nothing but here you can see this bold bordered one box. You can see this is called as active cell, and by default it will be in your A1. So let's understand the spreadsheet before we go. So spreadsheet is nothing but the tabulation. What you see here, the small boxes like this are called as tabulation, which are in the form of electronic spreadsheet. Okay, so tabulation are in the form of rows and in the form of columns. So rows are identified by numbers and columns are identified by alphabets. Okay, where your column and row both meet each other or intersect each other, that point is called as a cell, active cell. And in this name box it will show where is your active cell is. For example, when I click here, it is F9, and here you can see Excel will tell where is your active cell is. So if I click here H9, N19, like this. Okay, so then we have the formula bar. So anything that has been entered in your active cell. So if I tell MCC, so I am entering some value, this data is going to be reflected in your formula bar. Okay, so if I wanted to see how big my work area is, so I'll click here in A1 cell, I'll press Control down arrow. So it will take me to the last row, that is 10,48,576 row. If I wanted to come back, I'll press Control and up arrow. I'll get back to A1 cell. Now I wanted to see how many number of columns are there. Control and right arrow, it is XFT, that is 16,483 columns. Okay. So if I wanted to come back, Control and left arrow, I'll get back to A1 cell. So you can see that your work area is quite big enough in order to work with any kind of data. Then we have the vertical scroll, then we have the horizontal scroll, and by default from 2016 version onwards you will be having sheet 1, means only one sheet will be available in your work area. That means not only one sheet will be there, but actively you can see only one sheet. In the previous version there were actively three sheets, sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3 was there. So now in this, if I wanted to add the sheets, I'll just click on this plus and I can keep on adding the sheets. So here how many number of sheets I can add means, so 255 sheet max I can add the sheets over here. And then we have the status bar. When I right click on the status bar, you can see by default all the things will be active. So that means Excel works certain things on its own. It is not that I have to make it work or something. So by default, many things will be kept active. Then we have the different types of view and we have the zoom bar. Okay. So understood with this?
Yes, ma'am.
Any doubts still here? So just I'll give you 5 minutes of time. Just have a look at the screen components and the financial modeling things. So 2 minutes you can have a look at the screen. If you are having any doubts, please do tell about the screen components. Then we'll just have a glance about financial modeling, whatever we have covered today. So tomorrow, just put me a reminder to share the notes, so that morning only I'll share the notes, like the practical exercise of Excel, like Excel refresher, what and all we are going to do it, so that we'll solve all those things, and then we'll be starting up with the other financial statements like that. So any doubts in these things, please do tell. So no doubts, guys.
No, ma'am.
Understood with whatever the explanation has been given. Okay, still go through the things whatever I have explained about Excel and with the financial modeling introduction. Okay, so if you are having any doubts, we will first clarify with the doubts and then we will start up with the practical exercise on Excel. Okay, so no doubts, right? So I'll wind up the session for today.